Hey guys, Dennis here with Revog Games. I'm joined by
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa.
yes, and we're back. It's been what
Been a
almost
while.
almost
A
a
hot
month.
minute, man. A couple weeks. Yeah.
It's been more than a couple weeks. I think it's almost been a
Yeah.
month now.
You had a Euro trip though, man. How was your Euro trip?
Good. It was fun, but also for vacation, it's not like you know some parts were relaxing, and then some parts you're like running around like crazy. Also,
Yeah, trying to catch up with the schedule and stuff.
yeah. And then went to Iceland and Norway, which is very beautiful
I
places.
saw the photos. That looked beautiful, man.
Well,
I really want
the
to go
thing
to
was,
Norway.
it was like beautiful for like 5-10 minutes, and then it would like rain really hard and be beautiful
Oh,
for 5-10 minutes.
no.
Yeah.
Did you get to, this is going to sound so over the top, but did you get any Norwegian salmon
Yes.
while you were in
Very.
Norway?
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude. You got to have Norwegian salmon.
Yeah. Delicious. And then at the very end, I stayed in London for a few days, which was nice. Very expensive. Very expensive city.
Dude, London is an expensive city, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, whenever
Yeah.
I see YouTubers or like big YouTubers in London, they're like millionaires and they show off their apartment and it's like my apartment in LA, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, and then you find out how much they're paying for it just to be in London. It's insane, dude. I liked your little joke you made where I think you took a photo outside Buckingham Palace.
Oh, yes.
And you said you heard they built this place just to film The Crown.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious, man.
Yeah. I did the whole, touristy thing. Saw like Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, London Eye, Tower of London, all that stuff.
Did you do the London Eye? Did you ride it?
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude! Beautiful view when you're up there.
Yeah. And also, I'm someone who doesn't like heights. But
Same, yeah.
when you're in there, you don't feel it. You don't.
Yeah, it feels secure.
It goes so slowly, and the way that it's constructed, it doesn't make you feel like you're like, I don't know. I mean, you are high up there, and you get that
Yeah.
feeling, but you don't feel like that's gonna
Yeah,
like
my legs
break or
my
fall
legs
down.
give way. Like if I'm on like like a balcony that's like high up in the sky, or even just on the roof, like
Uh-huh.
ledges and cliffs, like those horrify me. I can be in the sky, I can be in a helicopter, I can be in a plane, I could ride the London Eye. You know what I mean? If I feel secure, it's different.
Yeah.
But whenever I just see like a drop,
Yeah.
like if I look over the edge, my legs actually give way. Like I fall down to the ground. It's so
Okay.
like my body can't handle it.
Yeah, definitely. But it was a nice view, and then I went to Sky Garden, which also had a nice view as well, but a different part of London. It's like more east. But anyways, it was good. To be honest, I haven't been playing much games. One, I was being on vacation, and now that I've been back, it's been almost a week now. I've just been trying to catch up with everything, and my place is a mess because we kind of, when you like start packing to leave, you don't care about like how things are. You just like grab everything possible, and just when we came back, our place was like all messy and stuff. So still trying to clean that stuff up and everything. And we're gonna talk about video game news, obviously. But there wasn't. It's
Very little, man.
Maybe
We were gone for a while, and there was not much.
So I guess I picked a good time to go because when I came back, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna miss all this stuff. And then I started looking. I was like, there wasn't that much stuff to be missed for the past few weeks. So I guess it was the right time. So let's start off talking about the biggest thing, and then you're probably going to talk about this more because I actually didn't get it, and then we'll talk about why I didn't get it, which is finally the PC remastered version of Spider-Man, which is a PlayStation exclusive, now is on PC. It's come out. It's gotten great reviews. It says everyone says it looks great. It plays great. You got it, and you've been playing it a lot.
pre-ordered it, yeah.
So tell me, what's your experience been like so far?
It is so smooth. First of all, well, here's the thing. I'm playing it on its like max graphics without ray tracing. They did add ray tracing for this version. Obviously, the PS4 version did not have ray tracing. It was running on a PS4, to be fair. I'm more interested to see the differences between this and like
PS5.
there was a remaster for the PS5, right? When Miles Morales came out, if you pre-ordered it, it got bundled with the remaster of the game for PS5. But I can tell that this game is very different from that game. You know what I mean? First of all, the added ray tracing. it's for you're running it on your PC. So the first thing I notice in that kind of game is I'm running 165 frames a second. It is ridiculously smooth, dude. It's like I have a lot of frames for first person shooters, so I can just have that competitive edge over people. And I've never actually played a game where I've enjoyed having that extra frames. But when you're swinging around the city of Manhattan, it's almost like smoother than real life. Like real life isn't even that smooth.
Yeah.
So I like how smooth it is. It runs great. Like it's not too resource heavy. Like you know what I mean. Like I pushed it to its max graphics on our 2060, which is now like starting to become an outdated graphics card. Oh, it probably is. I just don't want to accept it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm playing it at about 2K quality. I don't know. It's interesting because it's like I'm not playing it at 2K. It's like what's 1440p? That's technically 2K, right? It's not 4K.
Yeah, 1440p.
It's like 2060 by 1440.
Yeah, it's like 2.5K or whatever.
It's like it's like 3K almost, but that's not really a thing. Anyways, I'm playing at that. It's great. What's the price in America on it?
$60, and we'll get more into that later.
Okay, yeah. So it is full priced. It is a full price game for a remaster game, but it does include all of the DLC. For me, with my regional pricing, it's actually about $50. So at least here where I live, it's about $10 less than a full price game. So I was very happy with the price point. Pre-ordered it. Luckily, I pre-ordered it on Epic because apparently people had the price wrong, and so if you pre-ordered it through Steam, I think there was an issue where like they changed the price and you had to like pay an extra like $10 or something. But I didn't have that issue. Man, I was so excited to play. Even though I finished the game, I was watching the timer on Epic Games, like kept refreshing. Like, can I install it? Because you couldn't pre-install either, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, the game came out. I've been playing it. I've almost finished the story. Just to like play it again, even though I've already done it. But what I'm most excited about is playing the DLC, which I never got a chance to play the DLC, and now all the DLCs included there. There was some like extra. Also, since I played the PS4 version, I noticed that there's extra suits, and I don't know if they're DLC related or if they were just. I think some of them were just added to like nicest. Like there's the Andrew Garfield suit. There's the Tobey Maguire suit. The Sam Raimi one, which is iconic. It's one of my favorite suits. There's a couple like other things that they added in there that weren't in the like original, or maybe they were, but later on, I don't know. Point is, man, I don't know a single person who played it who has had a bad time. The only people I know that aren't playing it are people that have already played it before, because it is one of those games where it doesn't have much replayability. Unless you just want to swing around Manhattan, put on some good music, which is fun. I like swinging. I will say I did play Miles Morales on the PS5 at a friend's house, only for a few minutes. So I didn't think that there was much of a difference in the swinging mechanics, and then I played this game after a few years, and I noticed it's quite a big difference. Like the mechanics in Miles Morales is good. So I'm playing this game, I'm enjoying it, but the only thing I can think of is Miles Morales is coming to PC early next year, which is soon considering the release of the PS5 game. Like the turnaround for these like PlayStation to PC games are usually like 2 years. You know what I mean?
They gotta be quicker though. Like I said.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And they want to compete.
With Miles Morales, it's getting there. Like when Miles Morales came out, what, like a year ago? Like could have been about a year and a half ago.
Year and a half, because
both
Xbox Series X and PS5 are now about almost 2 years. Not quite. A few more months to 2 years. So
I
it's
think
been
and it came out.
It came out
a year and a half. Let's chalk it up to a year and a half. So like usually look, Horizon Zero Dawn took like 3-4 years even to get the PC. You know what I mean? Same with so it seems like it's getting better. So yeah, I can't wait for Miles Morales to come out, man, because I haven't like played it. So I'm excited for the storyline. Also, the swinging is much better. Has more character. Like they took a step in the right direction. I'm also excited for the sequel. You know what I mean? Because Miles Morales isn't a sequel; it's a spin-off technically. You know what I mean? Or it'll probably become its whole own thing, because there's still going to be a Marvel's Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be one of that. Like that's the next game coming out essentially. Man, I'm having a good time. I got not a single bad thing to say about it. It runs great. It plays great. Like I said, the one thing I noticed was that because I didn't like hop back previously, having played Miles Morales for 5 minutes and then going back to this game, it's interesting how you see how they progress the mechanics. So it's like playing this game, it almost feels like taking a step back, which I am, because it's like a generation. Well, it's the game before. Still loads of fun. Everybody I know that got it is having a great time. Most people are playing it on like 4K, 160 FPS, like pushing it to its fucking max because it's surprisingly not as resource heavy as you would expect. I think that this could run quite well on smaller end machines as well. Like you don't have to have the beefiest graphics card to play this game and make it look pretty. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be playing at like 1080p, you can get 60 FPS 1080p and probably push it up to like very high graphics on like a lower end machine. I could be talking out my ass here, but I mean, dude, I bumped it up to its like fullest graphics without ray tracing, because obviously ray tracing is a whole different demon that adds on, that kills, like it'll kill your GPU. And dude, my GPU, the heat was so stable. Like I can't explain how stable it was. Whereas like you play God of War, and like you put that up to its like full graphics, and I can hear my fucking GPU purr. You know what I mean? But with this, it didn't stress out my GPU at all, or like my CPU. It ran very smooth on my PC, and I guess having the SSD helps, because when I played the PS4 version, loading Manhattan is a pain in the ass. So you never wanted to fast travel. You'd rather just swing there. Whereas in this game, you got an SSD, just go fast travel and load up in a second. You know? Yeah, no, great. From what I'm reading as well, everyone says great reviews. Performance reviews are great.
Yeah.
So yeah. All around good time. I can play it with ray tracing, but then I have to
lower your frame rate.
I was gonna say I can't have 160 FPS with ray tracing. My PC will blow the fuck up.
So yeah, I didn't buy this game, and mainly to do with the pricing, because and the fact that I already own it. I have not finished this game. I have it on PS4. I bought the Game of the Year version, I think, the one that has the DLCs. So I just didn't, I think I paid $20 for that. And I have it on PS4. And yeah, would I like to play on PC? Sure. But the price of the full price, $60, I'm not saying it's not worth it, the game, but if you already own it, or if you already have played it, it's like, it's a little harder to justify. Because it is essentially the same game with just better graphics and performance. And so as someone who does own it and has already started to play on the PS4, it's just I can't justify spending that money just for the better graphics, especially, it's not that, Well,
you still have the game, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the only reason the main reason I bought it is because I've essentially given my PlayStation 4 to my nephew, because he works real hard at school and all he wants to do is play Fortnite. So I was like, dude, take my PS4. Like you work hard, you deserve it, Otherwise, like if no one's gonna, like, you gotta treat people when they work hard, especially when they're young, so that it builds good habits. So that's, if I still had my PS4, I would not have bought this. I would have got the Miles Morales one eventually, because I haven't played Miles Morales. But yeah, well, and also the thing that was on my side was regional pricing. It cost the same. It costs the same as the God of War remake. Like the God of War. How much is God of War PC? How much is the God of War PC version?
Well, when it came out, it was $60. Now I don't know. Let me take a look.
Oh,
I'm sure it's probably
the price
$50.
for me. I was gonna say the price for me. The price hasn't changed here. But even then, like our regional pricing, those games are coming out like a good $20 cheaper than full pricing.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why it's so much better priced here. Like most AAA games in Rand are about 800 Rand. You know what I mean? These games are coming out at about 600 Rand, or 700 Rand, which is like a good like $5 to $10 cheaper.
Yeah, so God of War has dropped since it was 60 when it came out, but now it's 50,
now it's
which
50,
is
yeah.
And like I said, I couldn't justify buying that too. I just played it and beat it on PS4.
I think $50 is like a good sweet price point. You know what I mean?
It's
like
good
for a remake.
But remember, God of War
Ideally,
PC was not a remake. It was just a port.
Yeah.
I mean, was it better graphics? Sure.
It was one of the best ports ever, though. To be fair, very great optimization.
I guess for me, just I can't justify those prices. When I'm thinking of
they're
remaster,
justifiable if you've never played it.
Yes, if you've never played it, you don't own it.
If you've never played it.
Yes, and it's the first time you have a chance to play it or whatever. But if you have it on another system or have played it before, it's just I can't justify that pricing. So, yes, I have not played Spider-Man Remastered on the PC. I probably will not. I probably will play my PS4 version, finish that, and then I probably will pick up the Miles Morales PC version because I can justify.
At the rate you play games, Dennis, by the time Miles Morales is out for PC, you might have finally gotten around to playing Spider-Man.
Yes.
You still got. By the way, I just picked up a Horizon Zero Dawn for PC as well because once again I don't have my PS4. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. And that game is, dude, I love that game. Love that game. But for some reason, it just works on mouse and keyboard. I never ever thought about it before because when I bought it, I was playing with the controller the way I did on PlayStation. I switched over to mouse and keyboard and I was kicking. I mean, it's a game with a bow and arrow, you know what I mean? And you're obviously going to aim better with a mouse. Even doesn't matter who you are, you're just going to aim better with a mouse, you know? I was flying through that game, dude. I'm actually really impressed with Horizon Zero Dawn and how it's running on PC. I know my review to that's a bit late, but yeah, excited. I don't know. They haven't spoken about doing the sequel in PC yet, but eventually they're going to have to release it on PC.
They will.
Yeah, because this one's sold well, you know.
They need to make money. I mean, remember, they also want to build up their PC library so that they so they can do their PS Plus PC bundle or whatnot to compete against.
So one thing's
Xbox.
for certain that I can say now that I own 3 PlayStation exclusives that are on PC, like I'm sure that I haven't played Days Gone yet, but every single PlayStation port has been flawless. And usually, here's the thing: maybe we're just in that era where porting games are easier. But do you remember porting games like a decade ago?
Yeah.
Like companies, they suffered, they struggled to port games. Like I remember, like there was some PC ports I played that were shockingly disgusting. You know what I mean? Like couldn't get the button combinations right. Like the mouse and keyboard controls sucked. Like you have to play with a controller again. Sometimes they wouldn't even have settings options. It was a straight port, and consoles don't have like graphics setting options. You know what I mean? So you play the PC version, and it just is what it is. And either your PC can run it or it can't. Yeah. Like it used to be a nightmare to port games. So it's really impressive. Like everything I've played so far from PlayStation that's on PC now, very impressed by it.
All right, let's kind of move on to the next bit of news. So Marvel's Midnight Suns gets delayed again. They're looking at 2023 probably. Yeah, this is the second time it's been delayed. This is a tactical RPG, you know. It's not in the vein of like Spider-Man or Batman Arkham, you know, that type of stuff.
Wasn't this their wasn't Midnight Suns there? I could be wrong about this, but wasn't that their like almost like Marvel Alliance, like top-down view?
It's more. They said it's more like XCOM. Yeah, it's more like
like turn-based. Yeah,
turn-based.
Yeah,
turn-based.
That's what I mean. Yes, that's yeah, more like XCOM. Yeah.
So
that's I hate these types of games. We know that. I've spoken loudly and proudly about. I think they're so boring. I even tried playing. I think Mario and Rabbids, which is also like an XCOM-esque kind of same type of style game. You know what I mean? I just couldn't even get behind that. It's just not for me. Yeah. Though I do love Marvel, so it's like maybe I'll get into this. Because the characters could be fun, but delayed again. Yeah. So it's supposed to come out in October. It was supposed to come out in October. What are they saying now?
Yeah, I don't think they just said 2023. Let me see.
before March of 2023. They're hoping later this fiscal year. Yeah. So later this fiscal year. So before March.
Before March 31st, basically. Sometime before then.
Interesting. PlayStation owners, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch is planned for later. So it's only going to be, the newer. So it's only going to be like PlayStation. So it's only the next gen essentially.
Which is weird, to be honest. Which is weird because it's not a graphically heavy. You know what I mean?
They're not. They're just.
I mean, honestly, this looks like something you can play on your phone. Like, I'm not trying to knock like whatever. It's just that's the style of game it is. It doesn't need to be graphically intensive. So, that is interesting that those aren't being kind of done at the same time. Especially because they PS4, Xbox One, they still have and Switch. They all three of them have bigger install base than Xbox Series X and PS5.
Oh, this must be a typo that I've read. Because they said, I was like, what? They said that like PS4 owners can jump in on it, but unfortunately PS4 owners got to wait. So I think they first meant to say PS5 owners. Yes. That's got to be a typo, yeah.
Yeah.
So the next gen is what they're going to come out with first. And look, like that kind of stuff makes sense to me where it's like a game like that looks low graphics, but you can have like very high res models that you could zoom in on to appreciate. like that's what I like about like high-end RTS games. Like it doesn't look much from the angle you're looking at it, but then when you get to zoom in on like the player model and stuff, like that's where you get to enjoy that stuff. And it's not needed, but it's nice, you know.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's what
yeah,
that's what
super
the
weird that they're
Ascent
doing
is.
two different sales.
Yeah.
Super weird that they're doing two different launches. That's very
Yeah.
weird. Like, yeah.
And I'm not saying the graphics are bad or anything like that. I'm just saying they you know,
for this type of game they usually aren't. Like this genre,
they don't need to be
resource heavy genre.
exactly.
It's like Pokemon. Like you can have like Pokemon. Like, doesn't matter. Like Pokemon can have a next gen version. It's still just gonna be Pokemon. You know, it can run on anything.
So yeah, and then you know this is the game that Xbox jokingly said Spider-Man is finally coming to Xbox.
Oh, that's funny.
Because
very funny.
because remember, well, obviously they didn't have the Spider-Man games because that's locked in by Sony. But even Avengers game, they didn't get Spider-Man as a DLC character. Only
True.
Sony did.
True. It was only place.
So
yeah,
they're
only
like,
Sony.
so they're like, we're finally getting Spider-Man in this. But anyway, so that got delayed. Speaking of Arkham, the Gotham Knights, they had the first 16 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, I saw this.
Did you check it out? I watched the whole thing. You know, looks cool. They chose Batgirl. It's, you know how typical first levels are, right? They're all tutorial. They're like tutorial, right? They teach you how to play the game, and you know, there's very simple.
I actually really like Batgirl's suit in this as well. I'm assuming there are going to be different outfits for everybody or whatever. I like this iteration of it though. Like I like the color scheme of it. Very classic-y, very classic vibes to it as well. Like I'll say like her like well, what we've seen here, like the 60 minutes that we've seen, is the most like Batman-esque like footage I've seen so far of like, you know, walking around doing like your investigation kind of stuff as well.
Yes.
I'm glad they didn't show more Red Hood gameplay, because as much as I love Red Hood, it's just the animations kill me, man. Like he punches his bullets out, like, you know, because he's got guns, so he like punches the gun like as if the bullets are gonna come out faster. He doesn't do it all the time, but I just think the animations are so dumb. Like no one's like doing these cool punching moves with their guns while shooting, you know? Like should have made it more tactile, you know what I mean? Like cuz he like if they made him more of like his like moveset or his animations, if they made it more tactily. Also the way he moves, dude, he jumps. I know it's canon. Like I know it's lore, that's how he gets around, but his like everyone has their own like mode of transportation around the city. His is just jumping on thin air, you know what I mean? Which I get. That's the lore, but it's like it's just a bit goofy looking. And it looks like a really frustrating way to get around the city, to be honest. Best way to get around the city is as Nightwing with his little glider, you know? I wonder what Batgirl has. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for me, looking at the game, you know, it looks solid. I'm more interested in if the story is going to motivate me to keep playing. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully the game mechanics in terms of the fighting and the upgrading and everything is solid, because it has a solid foundation that they've already, you know, had for a while. But I'm hoping the story itself is interesting enough and intriguing enough for me to keep moving along.
They usually are. Like for the Arkham games, they usually are. I'd say Arkham Knight suffered a bit in that department, but usually for the most part, the Arkham games are amazing at story. That's what keeps you invested. That's the whole, like the Arkham VR was, I mean, at the time, super great game. Looking back, it didn't age that well, but the story is what kept me invested in that. Also, I will say, like, I'm glad I saw this because now I know, like, my two go-to characters in this is going to be Nightwing and Batgirl. I was like, from what I've seen, I'm not a fan of like the move sets of Robin and Red Hood so far. Though I'm very interested in everybody's character and everybody's story. Like that's gonna be cool. Like I love Red Hood as a character. I can't wait to see his like story unfold and the interactions amongst themselves. I just know I'm gonna like not like playing as him. But it is what it is.
All right. Let me see here. Next up, we've got MultiVersus. So this is one thing I kind of like. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know like the beta was coming, and like so
it wasn't even.
So
it's been a week already. Holy shit!
So basically, in the time that I was gone till I came back, like it became a thing. You know what I mean? Like it's basically this article is like. MultiVersus has seemingly passed 10 million players, and this is from last week, this article. So like in that time that I was gone, I didn't know that the beta had come out and that so many people were playing it.
I felt like the launch was just a few days ago. Like I got the game the day it came out, And I feel like, man, my sense of time is wild. Like I feel like that was just a few days ago. That's crazy. I will say right off the bat, you need to make yourself a Warner Brothers account. Like that was like it's not the end of the world, but it was frustrating for me. Like to have like you got the game, it's downloaded, it is free, so I can't really complain. But it's like as soon as I loaded in, the first thing was like, hey, you got to make a Warner Brothers account, and I was like, what? Why would I even need a Warner Brothers account? Like who? Like what does Warner Brothers offer? Like for me to have an account with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anyway, so you make yourself
every company wants you to sign up for their whatever their
newsletter or whatever.
Yeah, whatever their thing is.
So it's fun. I will say right off the bat, a lot of people have been complaining about balancing issues. Specifically, it was with Finn and Velma, I think. Was it? It was Finn and someone. I know it's Finn and somebody, the characters. So there's some balancing issues where they're gonna have to fix those balancing issues. Like specifically Finn and Velma, I think, or Finn and somebody else. Where if you played a 2v2, those two together could essentially like they were like unstoppable. They were too strung together. You can get into like a loop where you catch people. Look, it's good. As someone who like I'm not the biggest fan of the genre because I didn't grow up with a Nintendo and like so I didn't grow up with Smash Bros. But it's like if you grew up playing Smash Bros. And you like the genre, then you will like this game. I've played Brawlhalla. I enjoy Brawlhalla. That was a free version. I've played Smash Bros, which is the best one in there. I'd say this from what I've played. This is the closest this is the closest to Smash Bros. You're gonna get without like in like maybe infringing on copyright. I'm not too sure if you can copyright a genre or mechanics or whatever, but this is like this was very close. Like this was the I've played like Brawlhalla is fun too, but with Brawlhalla they have all these different characters, but they have only like maybe 6 different move sets. So it's like you'll have a different character, but it'll still have the same move set and like combos as the other person. You know what I mean? With this at least you're getting like different move sets. It's more unique, which is nice. I didn't play the Nickelodeon one. There was a Nickelodeon one that came out earlier. Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But I'm enjoying this. I enjoy this. This is fun. I think the reason I enjoy it mostly is just because I like the art style. I like the characters. It's free to play. You don't need a Nintendo because that's the real reason that like I love Nintendo. But man, they're so archaic and old school in their ways. Where it's like every single time somebody creates some kind of mod or anything in order to like
they shut it down.
Shut it down, man. Like someone made a multiplayer mod for Smash Bros. Melee Brawl where you can play online multiplayer. But the only way it works is that you have to have the original ROM file, which means yes, you can go and download the ROM file illegally, but you could also use your actual, if you have the game, you could create your own ROM file and play it legally, technically. Nintendo shut that down. It was literally better than the multiplayer system in the latest Smash Bros. Game. People were like, this mod is a better multiplayer matching service than the newest game you just put out. And Nintendo is like, we don't care. Screw it. It's gone. And it's like, it's more people are just playing it. And it's a game that came out like 20 years ago or something. You know what I mean? Like, why shut it down? Anyways, it pisses me off because it's like, I truly feel like Nintendo could have gotten their Smash Bros. To be multi-platform at this point. Because look at this. This is MultiVersus is multi-platform. A lot of games nowadays are multi-platform. I'm just, and you're gonna have some die-hard Smash Bros. Fans, but I feel like Smash Bros. Has to evolve if they want to start like, if this game continues to do well for itself. Like I don't know, man. Smash Bros. Has got competition for them because they're not cross-platform. You know, they're just stuck on a Nintendo, and I feel like they could make way more money being on other platforms.
Yeah. So did you say you played MultiVersus or you haven't played it?
I did play it.
Okay.
No, I played it. I played quite a bit of it. Yeah.
How is it?
I like it, man. Like I said, it's better than Brawlhalla, which was also a free game within the same genre. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in my opinion, its competition was that. I think Nickelodeon All Stars you had to pay for. So within the free-to-play realm of these types of games, this is the best by far. Within the free-to-play realm, it's still not better than Smash Bros, which you got to pay for, like full price, I might add. You know what I mean? But this is free-to-play. It comes with a battle pass and stuff like that, so they'll have ways to make their own money. And for me personally, like because I didn't grow up with a Nintendo, I like the characters of MultiVersus more. You know what I mean? I watched a lot of Warner Brothers material throughout my life. You know what I mean? So I know everything that's gonna like I can relate to these characters. Half of the roster of Smash Bros. I don't know who the hell they are, where they came from, what their backstory is. But with this, I'm like, yeah, I can be Super Saiyan Shaggy. I could be kicking ass, punching Batman in the face as Scooby-Doo. Like, yeah. I love it, man. Some people work together, I believe. Like I think it's Tom and Jerry. They're one character, if I recall.
I wonder if Rick
They're
and
not two
Morty.
separate
I wonder if
characters.
Rick and Morty are together as well.
I think they're gonna be separate because I think
Okay.
Morty's coming before Rick.
Okay.
Like Morty's getting released before Rick. Also, by the way, Rick and Morty new season trailer is out for any fans out there. Definitely check it out. New season of Rick and Morty coming out next month, I think. So that's really cool. Yeah, dude, I'm liking it. I got no complaints. It just needs some balancing issues. Like if it's gonna be taken seriously in the competitive scene, they need to make some balancing issues, like balancing changes, and then they're good to go. And like I said, man, the Smash Bros needs to they need to make some changes, man. They need to
Yeah, I like
they need to
you.
adapt and evolve.
Aren't even though I did grow up with Nintendo, I don't quite have the attachment to characters. Like obviously you have Mario and Luigi and whatnot, but like I know a lot of people love Kirby. Like Kirby doesn't, I never really I know who Kirby is, but I didn't really play his game. You know what I mean? So my attachment to a lot of the Nintendo characters isn't that big. Where MultiVersus,
Batman, Superman,
yeah, you have all these comic book characters. You even have Arya Stark in there. You have Rick and Morty.
You got Harry Potter as well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not in the game, but they could use it. Like it's all Warner Brothers related stuff, man. You know.
So definitely,
That's
though
cool. What was
this,
it called? LeBron James.
Yeah, they have LeBron.
You know, like man, like
but
that's awesome.
this isn't really my genre. I never really got into it. I know it was like a very Smash Bros was a very big title for Nintendo, but I just never got into it. So yeah,
I only have fun with this game with friends in person, like on a couch co-op.
Okay.
Like I played a bit online, and it was like whatever. It's more fun when you're like sitting next to the person, or at least in like a Discord call. Like it is more fun with friends. Like I'm sure that there's going to be a competitive scene for it, and you can play matchmaking, ranked online or whatever. But I'm just going to be playing locally with friends when I play this game.
Yeah.
Which I will say, like I hope this game makes money, because I will say I'm not going to spend any money on it. Like I haven't seen anything that makes me want to. You know what I mean? Like the base game's fine on its own, just for like some good co-op fun with a friend.
I'm sure there'll be some characters and skins that they'll put out there for
man,
people.
If they come up with like the fact that they played into the meme of making Shaggy super strong, I love, because there was like for years there were those internet memes about like Shaggy like becoming like people would joke that Shaggy was stronger than Goku, like that was the meme, and they fully played into this. They even gave Shaggy like his like power up. Like he turns into like he goes like plus ultra. It's so funny. They played into the meme and they made Shaggy super strong. I love that. So that's like they know their audience too, which I like.
That Rumbleverse game is coming out soon. That also a free to play. It's melee based, but also kind of this.
Wasn't that the essentially it's a battle royale but melee based. Yeah, that does look like goofy fun. I'm looking forward to when that comes out as well.
It's like
Fortnite
meets Smash Bros.
That's a good meets Gang Beasts.
Yeah.
Like it's an interesting. It's almost like a wrestling simulator as well. It's fun. I will say the thing with MultiVersus, what they got going for them moving forward, is that the Warner Brothers multiverse is huge. They have like almost an infinite amount of like relatable characters to pull from. You know what I mean? And to make movesets for. So I say in the future they could make some like really cool moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Next one. This one's just a little follow up. EA says single players are really, really important as part of their portfolio. If you guys remember, they had tweeted out that whole thing of there are 10, but they only like playing single player games, and they got roasted on the internet.
Yeah.
Basically, EA already has a bad reputation when it comes to, trying
the
to...
last good single player game they did was Dragon Age.
No, I mean, they had Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi
Mass
Fallen
Effect.
Yeah.
They did do the remaster for Mass Effect as well. Can't forget that.
So basically, I think in one of the investor calls, they did say, like, look, we are, still not... the main thing that they're doing is, online... microtransactions and all that stuff. It's not like they're gonna.
They won Game of the Year, dude. What was it? It Takes Two.
Yeah.
I think it was last year, or the year before. It won Game of the Year, and that was a multiplayer game. So it's like, yeah, they'll focus. Like they're still gonna make single player games, but EA knows the brunt of its money comes from multiplayer games.
Yes.
They know that.
But they don't want to, totally kill off.
They just want to.
A profitable, and also a profitable area for them.
Mm.
You know, it may not be
'Cause
their biggest part, but it's still a significant part.
yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 is gonna come out, and it's gonna
It's gonna
fucking
make
kill. You know.
yeah. It already did very well on the first, for the first
Mm-hmm.
one. It's gonna do even better on the second one, because the first one people were hesitant because of EA's track record with those Star Wars.
So, yeah, I was very hesitant, and then I played it, and I literally didn't put it down until I finished it.
Oh.
It was amazing. Also had a fucking stroke halfway through. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Remember me calling in that day and being
yeah.
like, "Hey." Turns out I didn't have a stroke, but I had a panic attack that developed into a stroke because I had my brain wasn't getting oxygen because I hyperventilated. So I was technically going through a stroke. It just wasn't caused by blockage of blood. It was caused by not having CO2 to carry the blood to my brain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was still horrifying. Anyways, great game, regardless of that having happened to me. Like, I love that game. Can't wait for the sequel.
All right. Moving on. One of my favorite games of last year, The Ascent. They're bringing a paid DLC. I'm gonna definitely look into this. I think they had a free.
Actually, I played it again recently with a couple friends. I got them
Nice.
convinced to play it. It was really good.
It's an awesome game. They had a free DLC at the end of last year that was just, I think, like some skins and like an extra
Cosmetics and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, where this one's an actual, like, hey, here's an actual
Here's more
mission.
bosses and stuff.
Yeah, here's a mission, and here's more.
Because I love those boss fights. That game was great for boss fights as well, man.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be a sword too.
Is it a what?
A sword.
A sword too. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
sick. That's gonna be sick. Get some
Yeah.
melee in there.
It's called Cyber Heist. It's coming out actually in 2 days.
Cyber heist. That's sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this is definitely something I'm gonna look into. I'm glad that the game did well, and I'm hoping to see more and more stuff from it. I do think I did. Did I uninstall this? I gotta take a look. I gotta remember, see if it's still loaded, and I may have uninstalled it. So I will have to reinstall to play it, but that's cool. Other DLC, Back for Blood is coming out for DLC. Back for Blood apparently didn't do quite as well as that they were expecting.
I don't know if they fixed it, but on launch, man, it wasn't like. I think I played it with you. Did we play it? I think you and I played
I think
it
we
briefly,
did.
But
We played a couple missions.
Yeah. I also played it with another group of friends together, and we literally stopped halfway through and installed Left 4 Dead 2 and played that instead.
Oh, really?
Because it was just too buggy. The movement didn't feel right. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure they fixed it by now, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. And then I played Left 4 Dead 2, and I realized, hey, I'm having a great time playing Left 4 Dead 2 with my friends. Why the hell am I going to play Back for Blood when it's a little glitchy mess right now? You know?
So I played it, and I had actually fun with it. My issue was more that I was playing it, and I think I probably did like 75% of the game, and then I hit a spot where, and this, remember, I'm playing with other people too, so it's not just me.
Yeah.
And there was this one level, end level or end boss level, whatever, that we couldn't beat. Like I played it like 5, 6, 7 times, no more than that probably. And so for me, it was like the challenge or the difficulty level jumped too much, because like the rest of the game was fine, and then suddenly it just like got hard all of a sudden, which you never want in a game. I remember I stopped playing what was that Wolfenstein game that came out a few years ago. Yeah,
Wolfenstein. Yeah, that was the one you played with Dorian, right?
Yeah, it just suddenly got to one part, and suddenly it was like super hard. You want to ramp. You want to gradually bring your the player through to get like harder and harder as it goes along. You don't want a steep incline. You don't want to be like, oh, it's fine, and then bam, like it's super hard. Anyways, so I ended up not finishing it because it was, for some reason, and like I said, it wasn't just me. It was like I was playing with other people too, and we just could not beat that one boss level. So I don't know. At some point, I may go back and play it. But yeah, they are having a DLC coming out also later this month. Yeah, I'm just wondering how financially well the game did for them. I know they went on Game Pass right away, which they probably were like, they probably were a little worried about the response and launch of the game, and probably wanted a little boost in terms of being on a subscription service always helps boost that initial online player count. That's why. What was that? Why am I blanking on that name? That other the Gears of War like game. We were just talking about the last episode that also came out with the DLC.
Gears of War type game.
Why am I blanking on the name?
I can't think of anything that's the only thing that's similar to Gears of War, in my opinion, was that Army of Two game, which I can't believe they never made more of. That was a great game.
No. It's why am I blanking? Once I say it, you'll know. Gears of War. Why am I blanking? It was basically like Gears of War, but it was a looter shooter.
Outriders.
Outriders, yes.
Outriders, yeah.
Yeah, like they did.
Actually, that was like Gears of War looter shooter.
Dude,
right.
It was Gears of War. I mean, the controls are like straight up Gears of War.
Just with a couple of cool abilities thrown in, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, they also launched on Game Pass day one to help boost their, online player count, and
it worked for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, if your friends are playing it and your friends are like, "Hey, you got to play this with me," they're either gonna get Game Pass or they're gonna get the game.
Yeah. Or they already have Game Pass and they just need to get it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, the DLC for Back 4 Blood is called The Children of the Worm. It's coming at the end of this month. This one I'm not sure I'm gonna check out just because I had never finished. I definitely will check out the Ascent DLC, but this one
I might check out the Ascent DLC too because that looks good. I'm not gonna touch Back 4 Blood. I just like I said, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
You gave up.
Yeah. Like, look, if I can have more fun playing Left 4 Dead 2, like, why am I gonna be there trying to play Back 4 Blood? Like, I was having a much better time playing Left 4 Dead 2.
Nice. The next article is interesting, especially with Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard. But apparently, Activision Blizzard loses millions of players, but adds 25% more developers year on year, which
I think those millions of players can be mostly attributed to one thing, and that's World of Warcraft falling off so hard.
Yeah.
Like, millions of people stop playing World of Warcraft. Like, that's me speculating, but like, if they're saying they're losing millions of players, they're specifically referring to Call of Duty and World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like, Call of Duty players are becoming less and less, even though apparently Vanguard sold really well. World of Warcraft players are really becoming less and less. Like World of Warcraft was suffering for a long time in terms of player base, especially with Final Fantasy XIV doing a fantastic job as an MMORPG.
Yeah.
Though I don't know, people are saying some people might come back now because they've got like this Dragonflight expansion coming out with a new class and stuff like that. Maybe it'll bring it back. I'm not too sure. It hasn't been like the acquisition hasn't gone through yet, right? Like the full acquisition.
No.
So I hope that once the full acquisition is done, they can fix on it. Because I will be honest, with Blizzard itself, I still play a lot of their games, right? I play Heroes of the Storm. They've stopped doing Heroes of the Storm for a long time. They're like, but it still have a store. You can still spend money on it. But that store has been the same store for over 2 years now. You know what I mean? It hasn't swapped out the items, or there's so much other items you just can't access them because no one's running the store anymore. So I do hope that once the acquisition goes through, Microsoft can step in and fix the Blizzard app. Maybe just to actually add support to it, because that's the biggest thing. Is that like a lot of these they got the games, man. They just don't have the fucking like customer support, or the servers, or like the need to like work on their older games. They just want to like be like, hey, let's make the next big thing, and then screw it. Let's just like whatever fails, they don't care about, like. World of Warcraft 3 Reforged failed. I actually bought that again recently just to play it because I want to, and I was struggling to get the original version. So I paid for that, and I'm still disappointed that I'm playing it, though I am enjoying it. But it's like, really, it should have been like $10 if anything. They outsourced the entire project to a different country. They didn't even do anything. Anyways.
Yeah.
And I think it's also this loss of millions of players is also attributed to the bad taste that Blizzard has left in people's mouths for the past couple years. You know what I mean? The accusations and all that stuff, and what was it? Mainly Blizzard. I know Activision's got some bad stuff there as well, but it seems like there was more allegations going on at Blizzard than anything else.
Yeah, but they
Like,
did
yeah,
increase their development.
25% more. Yeah,
That's a lot.
I don't think Blizzard did though. I think Activision did. I know it's the same company essentially, but like I can't think of a single. Well, I suppose when they did Diablo 2 Resurrected, when they did the remaster for that, and the remaster for that did come out good, you know.
Overwatch
Suppose they needed
2.
to hire people for that.
Overwatch 2,
2, they've
yeah.
needed, yeah. Like that was, I was gonna say, their main thing, but even then, it shouldn't add 25% more developers. But then I was like, okay, they started doing those remasters, but they outsourced a lot, so I don't know if that counts as adding developers when you're outsourcing, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see after Microsoft takes them over in the direction they're gonna take the games.
Man, I tell you what though, Diablo 4, at least everything I've seen from Diablo 4, that might like, I know when that game comes out, I'm at least for the like first month that that game's out, I'm gonna play it, and I'm somehow gonna magically forget about all the horrible things that Blizzard did. At least for that month, you know, and then I'll remember it again. But Diablo 4 is looking good, Dennis. As like it's looking, they're adding 8-player modes with like actual like big boss battles where you can have like up to 8 like they're changing it in a good way, you know what I mean? They added a mount because like they've decided the map's so big, here's a mount. I used to spend hours walking from point A to point B in Diablo 3, you know what I mean, trying to like look for loot. If I had a horse, my life would have been so much fucking easier. So that's looking good. Overwatch 2 is gonna bomb. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna bomb. Because the issues with Overwatch 2 are the same issues with Overwatch right now. You have a queue system. You know what I mean? You can only have like I believe they changed it now. Used to have I think it was 6. I think it was like 6v6. Now it's 5v5.
Yeah.
Used to essentially have 2 tanks, but then that became too overpowered, so now you can only have 1 tank. But the way the Overwatch works is a queue system of like it's like, hey, I want to play a tank. So you queue up to play a tank. You get a game super quick, but you're like, no, you know what? I want to play I forget the name for it, but it's essentially like you're the attacker, like the DPS. You're the person who does all the damage. You know what I mean? But then that queue, because everybody wants to play that type of character, the queue for that is like 10 to 15 minutes instead of like 5 minutes to get into a game. So that's I don't know. They got there's a couple things they got to fix. Also, when the beta came out, dude, people were playing it all over Overwatch. I mean, sorry, all over Twitch. So much hype. Next day, all the hype was gone. You know what I mean? It was like the hype was just instantly gone the next day. Like. I just think it's gonna fall off. I don't think it's gonna bring back the Overwatch League. It's not gonna be as big as what it was. I don't think the Overwatch League will ever be as big as what it was in terms of like brand power, in terms of like viewership and
esports,
stuff like
esports.
Yeah, I don't see them selling out like arenas like they used to. You know, I see Valorant doing that. Valorant's making those moves now. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is things are hot for a while and they. Yeah, eventually will cycle out. I mean,
sometimes you have amazing games, Dennis. Amazing games, and it's just the wrong time, the wrong place, genre fatigue. I think of Hyperscape. Hyperscape was a sweet game, dude. Most dead game in the world right now because it was just this genre fatigue. You know what I mean? And like it was marketed well, but then at the same time, a lot of other great free-to-play games are marketed. So I feel bad for companies like that when they really make a genuinely good game and it's just the wrong time, wrong place, and it doesn't sell well, you know?
All right, so the last thing that I have, but I know you have some more stuff, is this...
Got a couple small things, yeah.
Yeah, this mobile software company called AppLovin had offered to buy Unity. If you're not familiar with Unity, Unity is one of the main softwares.
It was like, yeah, for
basically... Unreal
games,
Unreal and Unity are the two big engines that people use. There are people that use their proprietary custom engines,
but Unity's big now. It used to just be cell phone games. Remember that? Like it was a very small in comparison to Unreal back in the day. But Unity's made some moves recently. So I've heard it's also quite good for VR development.
Yes, it is because it's less resource heavy, which makes it great for mobile, makes it great for VR, especially Quest because it's basically a mobile processor. Where Unreal's gone the other way, right? They're going towards TV and film production with their virtual production and latest Unreal 5. But those are the two main engines that games are built off of. But anyway, this AppLovin had offered to buy Unity for $17.5 billion. But apparently Unity turned them down. They rejected the offer.
Unity would own 55% of the combined company's outstanding shares, giving Unity a 49% voting right going forward. A 49% voting right is useless. You know, you want that 51%, you know, but it says that they have 55% of the combined outstanding shares. So how could they only have 49% voting right? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a bad deal because Unity knows moving forward that they are hot shit within the VR development world. Like mobile gaming is only getting bigger. Even if you don't partake in it, it's only getting bigger. You know what I mean? I think it was Take-Two Interactive said that like the bulk of their money that they're going to make in the next few years, they know is going to be like, I think 70 to 80% of it's going to be all mobile, which says a lot because, you know, Grand Theft Auto makes a lot of money through microtransactions, you know, and they're saying that's going to be beat out easily by all their mobile, like, because they bought a lot of mobile studios recently, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, yeah, when I was in London and I took the tube or the underground or whatever their subway system, I saw a lot of people on there like playing games on their phone, which is, you know, for me, like, first of all, you know, I'm in a foreign country, so like my battery on my phone is like pretty important, right? Because I need my GPS to find out where the hell I'm going, and you know, I'm taking pictures with my phone. Basically, battery life is super important. But yeah, people are just playing away on the subway, also on the train, you know. So it's obviously a big market.
It just seems low, man. $58 a share is a bit low for something as big as Unity. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they're making all the licensing money, you know, on all the games that are being sold that use their engine, you know. So
$17.5 billion is no joke, but man, you just know 10 years from now, unless something else comes out that's better for VR development, the bigger VR gets, like, I just see Unity being used more and more these days. And apparently it's a lot, like, I wouldn't say easier to learn, but it seems like well, I guess that is the best way to put it. Like, compared to Unreal, it seems like, from the most part, it's a good place for developers to start learning is Unity rather than Unreal.
Yeah, it's, I guess, less complicated, I think.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, that's, it's just easier to use and easier to learn, I suppose. And you can find so many, you can teach yourself on YouTube, man. You can find so many fantastic tutorials on YouTube. You can teach yourself Unity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could also do the same with Unreal, but I believe that it'll be easier to do Unity first, you know?
Oh. All right, so I think that's my last thing. I know you have a few other things.
Yeah, this is not gaming related. I'm just gonna say it because I think it's hilarious that they're remaking Roadhouse.
Oh, with Conor McGregor.
With Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor in the Patrick Swayze role.
I didn't know Conor McGregor's gonna be in it. That's
I thought that's why you brought it up. No, McGregor.
I was like Jake Gyllenhaal. I can see him in Roadhouse. Yeah, I had no idea Conor McGregor. That's hilarious.
Because it's his first like movie role, and he's gonna play the Patrick Swayze role. So.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It doesn't say anything here about that, but yeah, Ronda Rousey was apparently going to be in it as well. So
that was a while ago, but then kind of her star kind of fell with the whole.
So we know Riot is working on a lot of games in their spare time. They announced, like we spoke about it a while ago, that they said that they've been reaching out to branching into like spin-off games and other games. You know, I could do a whole hour-long video about the MMORPG coming out that they said, because their MMO, there's not much news about it, but apparently they've done a lot of work on it already, and they've essentially already created the world and the lore and all that. So they're like moving forward on that, and it seems like it's being positively received. They also are working on a fighting game, this is like the thing that I was most looking forward to, because it seems like, I gotta double check, because from what I saw a while ago, yeah, it's like a general fighting game, like Mortal Kombat or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that it's that like not 2D view, but that like Street Fighter view of fighting. Fighting games. So it's a fighting game like that using League of Legends characters, but it kind of has the art style of Arcane. You know what I mean? Like it's like that art style, but not so painterly, more obviously 3D like modeled. The point is, when I saw this, I was like, this looks good. This looks like a good, fun fighting game. I'm looking forward to playing it. Get to play as your favorite League of Legends characters. Maybe we're lucky, maybe Valorant characters in the future, who knows? But the point is, they just came out a few days ago, about a week ago, and said that it's going to be free to play, which makes sense because all their big games are free to play. You know what I mean? Now that like they've had some smaller spin-off games that they've released where you got to pay for it, like a Ruined King, which was their turn-based RPG that like takes place about a different city, not the city that was in Arcane, but like because the world of that, like the League of Legends world is quite big, which is why I'm looking forward to Arcane in the future.
Yeah,
forward. There's a
the
lot
Arcane
there.
TV show is only one specific location in the vast
in the
universe, of League of
Though
Legends.
towards the end of Arcane, you see one character show up, or you know the lady who's like in charge.
Yes.
I forget her name, but her mom is that like warrior lady.
Yeah.
From a different continent.
Yeah.
So I believe that is the area that Ruined King gameplay took place, and you'll see like more. They're gonna delve into the other cities and other zones eventually later on in Arcane. But yeah, the point is there's the fighting game which I was looking. It's called. Well, we only know it as Codename L or Project L, is what they're code naming it. From what I've only seen, like I've seen concept art which looks fantastic. Like they have Echo in the game, and Echo looks exactly the same way he does in Arcane. Like the exact same model, but it's going to be there for like a fighting game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that it's going to be free to play. Well, I wouldn't say glad. It's just it makes sense because League of Legends and Valorant, their top 2 grossing games, are free to play. Like yes, like I said, they did other games that you could pay for. But yeah, this looks good. It's going to be free to play. I'm looking forward to that. It means that there'll be microtransactions, probably skins and stuff, and I'm all there for it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because I don't know of any good free to play fighting games. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think of a single good free-to-play fighting game off the top of my head, and everyone that has tried, like they failed, you know. But with this, because Riot is like the one thing that Riot is most like the thing that they're best at is creating characters. You know what I mean? And it's like in different versions of them, and it's like you want to see different outfits for that character. You know what I mean? Because you know it's gonna look sweet and cool as well. So I see myself. I've spent you know what? I spent a lot of money on Riot. Like I looked at it the other day. You can actually check your like billing history, and like my friend Vader, I don't know his real name, it's just his gamer tag from Norway. He looked at it and he said he spent about $2,000 up to date just on Valorant skins and like and like skins in general on Riot, and it's like he's already given Riot a good $2,000 of his money. He doesn't regret it. I've spent I think like about $500, maybe $600 on like Riot skins and for League of Legends and Valorant. I feel guilty when you see the full amount. You're like, damn, like
that's how they get. That's how they get you, though, right?
But at the same time, I have no regrets. Like, because I also like I'll never buy something that I'm never gonna spend money on something I know I'm gonna regret. You know, a lot of the stuff I bought, I do not regret, and I'm happy. You know, so looking forward to that. Oh yeah, we know that Unity. We just spoke about that takeover, but they said they're not gonna. Like they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
This looks interesting. So September 9th, there's going to be a Disney and Marvel game showcase. Is this happening during D23? It is, yeah. So during D23, the Disney Expo, they are going to be showcasing all these Disney and Marvel games, which I think is going to be quite cool. September 9th, 1 p.m. Pacific. I think it's 1 p.m. PT or 4 p.m. ET. So that's America. So for you, it'll be 1 p.m. 1 p.m. on September 9th. D23. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm curious as to what games they're going to announce there. Supposedly, there was a multiplayer mode for Marvel's Spider-Man that got scrapped. I'm just wondering, like, what would have been the multiplayer mode. But I guess because they added Miles Morales, not just the game, but in Spider-Man, when you play it, you actually see Miles Morales before he becomes Spider-Man, his own. You know, it's his own little origin story. So I think like their plan was to have a multiplayer. I'm just wondering how they would have done it. Like they found like a menu in the code which is like player 1, player 2, red team, blue team. So what kind of things could have been like, involved like a red team and blue team, like a team, like how would you do multiplayer in Spider-Man? I don't know how they would do it, but maybe that's why it got scrapped. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, so Spider-Man, the remastered game, it only came out on the 11th, which was that's 5 days ago. The game only came out 5 days ago, but it's already the second biggest PlayStation PC launch behind God of War. I think it could very well catch up to God of War quite easily, considering it's only been 5 days.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely obviously God of War is a huge property, but Spider-Man is like even bigger property, and also is, you know, at least
like
well received.
I guess they're considering debuts, because this debut is, I think it's 66. Well, I'll round it up and down. So 66,000 players, their debut, God of War's debut was 73,000, so it was a couple thousand extra, but it's like very close. You know, it's not like it's a huge difference. It's very close behind. So that's a nice little bit of information I thought I'd add in for us. There is apparently an Avatar: The Last Airbender console game that got leaked, titled Quest for Balance. I love the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I believe that they're working on more within it. Like I know that they said that they're working on more movies, more animations within that world, specifically the Last Airbender world, not Korra. Like I know that I think that there's a movie coming out soon, or a new series coming out soon that like follows shortly after the original series, or even before, because they know that that's the era people like the most. Like I enjoyed Legend of Korra, but when they started getting to the era of like mechs and like
it was too modern. It was too modern.
Yeah. I'd like to see a prequel to I've always wanted to see Kyoshi, which was the female Avatar, and apparently she was like the most brutal like Avatar ever. Like she like had very little forgiveness in her heart. Anyways, like I don't think like anything really. There's no like footage or anything that leaked, but yeah. So the game itself leaked or whatever. A November 8th release date. I highly doubt that that's this year.
No,
it must be like a next year November 8th, or if they're aiming for anything. Look, there was a Legend of Korra game that came out on console that I really enjoyed.
Did not know that.
The game sucked, actually, to be honest. The game was very average. I paid $20 for it or something. But like I said, the game had that pro bending mode. Like, and you see like when you watched Korra, they had the pro bending league. That was fun, dude. Like as a game, like screw Avatar. I'm sorry, don't screw. I love the lore, love the series, but take all of that out of it, and that was actually a lot of fun. The pro bending game mode was 3v3. And you had like an earthbender or a waterbender, and dude, it was fun. It was mad fun, like regardless of lore. So I hope that this will be good. I think that there was also a mobile game that got announced a while back, like an open world mobile game. Probably going to be developed in Unity. Here it is. Avatar: The Last Airbender open world RPG is in development, but it's mobile only, which is interesting. That might change though. That might change because I will say a lot of mobile. There's been a couple mobile only games that came out that have done so well that they've released the PC ports, like Diablo Immortal. People enjoyed the mobile game. Yes, it's a ripoff with cosmetics, but people enjoyed the game to the point where they also within development they were like, you know what, we may as well release this on PC too. You know, you're not hurting anybody. So I think that this will be on PC as well. You know, it's just obviously it's not gonna like be the best thing. Maybe it'll be more fun on mobile. Who knows? Genshin Impact plays great on PC and mobile. It works.
And they make a ton of cash.
They make but they use a gacha system, and that's which is essentially gambling. It really is all it is. I don't know if you know what a gacha machine is, but they call it gacha mechanics, where you're just gambling. You pay $20. You open up a pack of 10 things, and maybe one of them is a legendary. If not, you got to pay $10 again. You know what I mean? They get like it's. I do enjoy Genshin Impact, but I do believe that I find that practice to be very, not sketchy. It just seems immoral. You know what I mean? It seems a little immoral because it is. It's like playing the slot machines.
Yeah,
you know?
It is.
It's a little immoral. Like that is very much loot box-ish. And the thing is, people get hooked to it. I know people that play that game just to like gamble. Essentially, they don't even play the game, Dennis. They just sit there spending money, like trying to like pull out a legendary. Like it's insane. Anyways, I digress. I think it's immoral. Moving on. Hogwarts Legacy, which we're all excited about. I know I am. It's apparently coming out February 2023. So I was expecting early next year. That's early next year. So that's good. Hopefully they stick to that. Yeah, February 10th.
Originally we had thought it was going to be at the end of this year, but seems like I mean the game is very big for what they want to do. So
the Switch version will release later, which leads me to believe that it's probably going to be cloud-based, which would suck because every cloud-based game I've played on Switch has been horrible. I'd rather play like a lower graphics, lower res version of the game than stream it like shitty. You know, I don't know. I've had bad experiences with that. I'm mentioning because I think it's cool. It's not like the coolest thing, but they finally added Dragon Ball Z characters to Fortnite, and apparently it was huge. The real multiverse exists within Fortnite. Where else are you gonna see DC and Marvel in the same freaking place? Like where, like the move, like regardless whether you hate Fortnite or love Fortnite, the moves that they have made in terms of bringing IP together that would never be together. You know what I mean? Where else can you play a game where you can be Boba Fett trying to like Boba Fett trying to like do? You can literally right now in the game be Boba Fett launching a Kamehameha at freaking Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Like where else can you do that shit? Except for maybe Gary's mod or VR chat, who knows? But so that's impressive. They just added Dragon Ball Z characters, and I'm very much like there's like even like an item in the game currently that you can pick up as an item, and you can shoot a Kamehameha, or you can get on the little cloud that he flies around on as a mode. I love it. Really, really cool. So I just figured I'd bring that up, and apparently John Cena's coming as well soon. So Koch Media. I don't know if anybody knows Koch Media. Well, they're more and more in the gaming news nowadays because they've been getting more involved within the gaming industry over the years. I know the Koch brothers the way I know the Rockefellers and other rich people that just destroy our planet for their resources. So they're saying that they're changing their name because people don't know how to pronounce it, Koch Media. I think that they're changing their name because they don't want to because if you Google the Koch brothers, everything you're just gonna see the worst things like pipelines, like oil spills, just like the worst humanitarian crises that they've like essentially caused. That's like I hate the Koch brothers, man. Anyways, I think that that's the reason for doing it, but they're saying it's because people can't pronounce our names and like. Which I do guess within the gaming world you want like a better name or whatever. I don't know what they're changing it to, but supposedly they're changing it just because they say people don't know how to pronounce it. I don't believe that. I think it's because you don't want to be known as the Koch brothers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why Facebook changed their name to Meta. And
exactly, yeah. It's a good way to because people Google Meta, they're not going to see. You Google Meta, you Google Facebook, you see different stuff. You Google Koch brothers, and then you Google whatever name they choose, it's going to be very different stuff you're going to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then this is the last bit of news that because I spoke about it recently. There was that World of Warcraft mobile game coming out, but it was kind of like Clash of Clans styled.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it. It got canceled after a financial dispute, so I don't think they have the money for it or whatever. So that's never going to see the light of day. Then the last bit of news I have isn't even gaming related. It's that they're making an Eternals 2. Why on God's green earth are they making an Eternals 2? But it was it's not. I don't know if it's confirmed, but it's essentially teased by one of the voice actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully there will be more adventures of Star Fox and Pip. And I don't know, man. I hated Eternals. I hated that movie. It should have been a trilogy, man, or a series or something. Anyways, that's the last bit of news I have. It has been bare, man. It's been like a good month since we last did this, and there has really not been much big news, you know.
Yeah, at least in the video game realm. I know
a lot of TV, a lot of
movie and
news.
a lot of movie.
We don't really do that stuff here. If you guys are ever interested in us doing that, though, let us know.
Yeah. I mean that whole HBO Max and Discovery thing is, really screwed things up. I really am scared. Like you're taking HBO as like one of the most revered brands in television. And
we're known for like high class, high tier content,
high quality, and I don't know. Anyways, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, coming out soon in less than a week. This coming Sunday. I'm excited.
I will say last bit of news here that I just saw now, and this makes sense to me. But supposedly Sony's going to make its own game launcher, and if they're bringing enough of their games to PC, then I can see them having their own launcher.
Yeah.
Though then again, they're so closely tied with Epic. I don't know why they just make a deal with Epic and just have all their games on Epic only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure they could make a deal where it's like Epic takes less of a cut than Steam does. Steam takes what, a 30% cut?
Yes.
So they could be like, hey, look, Epic, how about I know Epic takes like 15% or something.
12.
They could do even better. They could be like
12.
They could be like, hey, Epic, take 10%, which is less. And we'll exclusively be on the Epic Store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's them essentially making. If you're making 90% of the money, you're not going to be that bad about having your own launcher. Yeah. Like no one's really gonna like go to the Sony launcher if there's like 5 or 6 games on there to buy from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, but then again, it seems like this is not leaked, but people are saying that they're PlayStation PC launcher.
To me, it makes more.
They data mined it. Sorry, it was found in Marvel Spider-Man. They data mined it.
To
So
me,
they
it
did
makes
see it referenced.
more sense if they go that PlayStation Plus for PC route, right? Because then you start building a library of stuff, and then then you have this launcher, and then you can choose what you do. That's what the Xbox launcher is.
They have their streaming stuff as well, because essentially, yeah, you're right. They can have their launcher, and then there's all the streaming content too.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're right. PlayStation Plus itself, that's a lot of content. Yeah, if they can get that on PC, you're right. That's big moves.
Yeah. So, anything else we've got here?
No, not really. Like a lot of hardware news within like the PC world, but nothing too interesting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I know on Game Pass there's been a few games, some indie games, but like Ghost Recon, which one was it? Wildlands.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I always thought that was a single player game. I had no idea it's co-op. And it was never ever at least to me, it was never advertised as a co-op game. And I've had friends being like, "Hey, you want to play some Ghost Recon Wildlands?" And I was like, "What? It's a single player game." And they're like, "No, it's co-op." And I was like, "You know what? I could actually 100% play that, because that game looked really boring to play alone, but I could 100% get behind like having a friend with me to do that game." I have been playing the crap out of Two Point Campus, because I love management games.
Oh yeah,
I love management games. It's great.
I do too.
It's the exact same as 2 Point Hospital, but it's a campus instead. Like, I've already found all the loopholes. Like, I deleted all my like for on because you can play the story mode where you build your own little campuses and you kind of learns you the ropes, but eventually you have the sandbox mode, you just build your own campus. And I found out that as long as my students are happy, I can fire all the teachers, get rid of all the classes, and even if they're not like doing class, as long as they're happy, just give them vending machines and all that, they'll just stay there and keep giving you money, even if they're failing. So you can there's a lot of exploits, but it's fun. I like management games. I like city builder games and those kinds of stuff. So I've been having a lot of good casual fun playing 2 Point Campus. Yeah, and obviously I've been playing Marvel Spider-Man. I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and as usual, a lot of Valorant.
Yeah, I need to get back into, like I said, having just come back, I've got to kind of get back into game. I need to still finish Guardians of the Galaxy first.
Yeah.
Before I move back to either Spider-Man on PS4 or Horizon Zero Dawn, which I had started before. So, man, so much to do.
Somebody in our Discord server like just posted like maybe an hour ago. They're like, "Hey, it's been a while since we've had videos." So I was like, "No, we're filming one right now. It's okay."
Yeah. Nice.
Right on, man. But yeah, it's been a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, whether you guys are watching or listening, wherever it is that you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a while.
But we're back. Well, I'm back. You were here. I'm back.
We're back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would look if there was anything worthwhile, like if I told Dennis if there was any like breaking news, I would have done a video by myself. But there was nothing that stood out that was worth it.
There's nothing. I was like, okay, is there anything? I was like, I was checking Twitter once in a while while I was on vacation, and everything was movie and TV news, there was hardly any video game stuff out there. So anyways, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. Subscribe to our podcast feed. That's on anchor.fm and Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at ThinkHero, Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
Man, definitely not Twitter. My Twitter account got hacked, and I had to recover it and then delete it. Yeah, a lot of my accounts get hacked, man, and it's like I don't know what I did to deserve it. Anyway, so you guys can find me on the Discord channel. There should be a link in the description below to join our Discord channel. More than happy to talk about video games whenever you guys want. I'm on there all the time, and you guys can follow me on Twitch at It's Thespis. Once we get to enough followers on there, I'm more than happy to stream for you guys.
All right, guys. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Later.